No surprise, Camille continues to make that ban list. I think CBLOL's finally caught on to that here.
Yeah, thank goodness. And we saw that in back-to-back games because in the second game was banned out against Tyrann, excuse me, and Atalia being taken away as well. Everything is just targeted towards the top side of the map. This is how drafts have gone broadly across competitive League of Legends, but in CBLOL specifically, it's you ban out kind of the top side because the top side is priority. Everything is to feed the jungle and top lane right now. Gordon Crane going to be nerfed until next patch, so Olaf taken away. So unless Udyr and or Volibear are banned out in bans B3 or B4 or R3, that you're probably going to see one of those two be locked in the first set of bans here. But Avenger not going to be able to pilot Orianna. That's safe control style mage. And now we'll get into the first pick here as Pantheon. I think this is 3 games in a row that he's been banned out.
Pantheon has 100% ban rate. Never let through, and it's almost exclusively on the red side. So not super surprising to see it here. That's a lot of attention paid to the jungle here. Surprising considering that Don Arts has not been the standout player for Loud. In fact, he has died the most on Loud here. But Red just really want to make sure they shut him down. But he's the original Udyr Bolt. How could Red forget? And he's going to get his favorite jungler right now once again.
Yeah, Don Arts, Pioshik. I've never seen them together in the same room, so what's to say that they are not actually the same person? He was the pioneer of bringing Udyr to CBLOL. He rode the wave, baby. And now the bot lane of Kai'Sa Rel going to be locked in for Titan and JoJo. Big, high damage, potentially lane dominant here from the side of Red Kalunga, but we saw some mediocre Rel play a couple games ago, but it really came down to just rookie bad tendencies here. We'll see what Don Arts pit locks in here. The Senna going to be taken for Duds the Boy. We'll see what it gets paired with. I imagine it'll be, I suppose, maybe Senna, you don't need to choose the support just yet, but it is going to be Tahm Kench, something we haven't seen too much in CBLOL. We did see this in the LCS, Tactical and Core JJ. They didn't do too hot on it. And again, it was fasting Senna with Tahm Kench. And why you put Core JJ on Tahm Kench is beyond me, but that is not important right now. It is going to be Does the Boy and Seos on this much more defensive bottom lane. So maybe not the fireworks we might have been expecting to see in this bot lane matchup.
What on earth? Another Azir. We're seeing Avenger pilot this one, and we've seen it before. It's not going to be the first go around here, specifically for Avenger on this. Azir has done pretty well on these scaling champions. I do want to point out, I don't actually like Rel being blind picked early like that, because Rel has very interesting matchups. We saw how squishy she is. So if you go high burst on a Rel, you can completely just absolutely dumpster her. But into the Tahm Kench, I think it's okay in terms of laning. I see why you picked the Tahm Kench here. If the Rel ultimate comes out, you just grab your ADC and bail, run for the hills. Like, you're tanky enough, you can survive it. You've got great health. You'll be okay. So Loud feels a little bit like they're responding to what Red Kalunga has drafted. There's a lot of potential for this draft still, and depending on what their solo lanes are, that will really decide how Loud want to play this game.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, with someone like Udyr, he can make plays all across the map. He's so good at securing objectives because he has that sneaky tankiness in the mid game. As the Ivern and Lilia taken away from Aegis here. Yeah, it is rare that we see a jungle pick or ban just slip through, or a pick I should say, slip through into the second phase. Lee Sin hovered here. I would be very, very surprised if we see Aegis on that. I don't think that is going to be the case. Maybe he just does the Lee Sin, Orianna. Ooh, Jungle Mundo. We're back, baby. Jungle Mundo into this Udyr. We've only seen this, that might not be totally true, but I know we've seen it in the LEC. But Jungle Mundo is a thing now, and it's again, this same type of just run at you at 10,000 miles an hour and just beat you over the head with things while your team does damage to the rest of the squad.
Momentum is velocity times mass 4x4. And you've got a lot of velocity, but Mundo has a lot of mass. And I'm so happy. This will be the first Dr. Mundo we're seeing in CBLOL here. And I'm not even sure how we're gonna go about this. Like, how is the Mundo gonna work? He's got basically no team fight potential whatsoever. Kind of similar to Udyr. He's just gonna run at you and into these lanes, into a Tahm Kench, into a Jace and a Syndra here. Ooh, things are gonna get spicy.
Yeah, let's see here. I mean, this is a much more defensive comp. That there's some pick potential on the side of Loud, which I do like. But the Red Kalunga comp is DIVE dive. You don't even see often, an 80 carry be a part of how divey a comp is. Well, and then Ornn, I guess, for a little bit of balance. So maybe I eat my words a little bit, but up until that point, I was right. But Titan's going to be on this Kaisa. I am looking forward to seeing what him and JoJo can do. I do agree with your point about Rel kind of being blind picked first up. I'm not the biggest fan of that. Now, into a Tom Kench, I guess it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like you're getting like counterpicked or anything. I mean, you're getting counterpicked in the sense that it is just so defensive that it might be frustrating. Maybe you can bait JoJo into some tough 2v2s.
Mhm.
But this is a bot lane that I trust to have the potential to make some really pop off plays.
For sure. And I feel like the tanks that are coming in, the Ornn, the Mundo, they were the last picks for Red here. It's a direct response to that Senna that we're seeing from Duds the Boy. If you do opt to go starving Senna, your damage is often extremely low against tanks compared to the likes of, say, the Kaisa, the Aphelios, auto attack champions who can shred through tanks. So now that they've got that, who's going to do it? Syndra's got burst. The sustained damage is questionable compared to a lot of other mid lane burst mages. Yes, Syndra has better sustain with those dark spheres on such a low cooldown. Jace does do sustained damage. He is kind of range, but also kind of melee. So how are they going to kill the Ornn? How are they going to kill the Dr. Mundo? And more importantly, how are they going to reach the Azir that is going to be absolutely shredding them in any front to back fight here?
Yeah, with things like the Irelia taken away, with the Camille taken away, a lot of that backline access is not there. Now, this comp doesn't. Yeah, I mean, Udyr seems a little out of place in kind of the team fight aspect of the comp for Loud, but he is just so strong. And like you said, there is kill potential in that mid lane. We'll see what rune choices does Dinketo run with, whether it's electrocute or phase rush or what have you. But look, we saw into Oriana. Okay, so it is just Comet. But we saw Nosferus get a solo kill level 6 on the Azir here. So nothing's off the table. Far from it. Corrupting pot into Doran's and 2 pots. Nothing too crazy here as far as itemization that we're seeing, nor with runes, Hail of Blades, Summoner Spellbook, etc. Fleet
Oh,
footwork here
wow.
for Dr. Mundo and Loud. Look, they are still the fans' favorite here, even though Red Kalunga, have established themselves as the second best team in the league. I think no one would really argue with that. Loud is still, the Vorax fanboys and the Loud fanboys and girls have been much more outspoken in CBLOL so far.
The heart wants what it wants. It doesn't matter
Amen,
how
brother.
well your team's playing, right? You got to support your team. I love to see it. I do want to point out the call start for Tay, though, on this
Mm.
Jace. That's not what you pick to necessarily dominate the lane. That feels like insurance from Tay here that, oh, yeah, I'm going to win the lane. Even with the call, I'm probably going to win the lane. But, I might as well just invest for later rather than immediately here. I'll just farm it up. We're not looking necessarily for a huge lane pressure in the top lane. And considering that you've got the Udyr on your side, not a bad choice at all. Udyr, quite independent, doesn't need his lanes to be winning. And even if you've got a losing lane, if Udyr decides to do enough drive-bys, it can often still become a bit of a winning lane.
Yeah, exactly. That is what Udyr excels at. He's fast as frick, boy. He can get all over the map in a hurry. Again, sneaky tankiness in the mid game. Really good at securing those objectives and just providing. His ganks are sneaky good. Whether it's flash or ghost that you run on him, but like phase rush really does help out, obviously. But a lot he can do a lot with those kind of like pressure release valve ganks, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. I like the term you used that, the pressure release valve, because
Mm.
it just knowing that Udyr can run there, warding against Udyr is actually kind of complicated. It's similar to Zac in that you can't necessarily just ward in the standard places because even
Mhm.
if you see Udyr coming, sometimes he's just simply too fast for you. If Azir were to already use that slide away his mobility spell, then even if you see an Udyr running at you from like in your bush, for example, it's already too late. He will be able to run you down. And that's why that ward we see Avenger put is very aggressively positioned. He's not warding his bush
Mhm.
anymore. He's warding the entrances out of your jungle to make sure that when Dawn Arts leaves the jungle, they know where to expect. They know where they need to react from.
Avenger putting the hurt on Dinkedo here. He knows where his jungler is, right by blue buff there, Aegis. able to respond pretty shortly if need be. But that is, I love that you pointed out the ward there and how kind of underratedly complicated maybe it is to ward against an Udyr. If nothing else, just because you've got to be really sharp as far as how often you look at your minimap, because
Mhm.
your reaction time is into an Udyr, because he will just sprint at you unbelievably quickly. And if you aren't just constantly watching your minimap, you will get punished. Because it will secure this top side scuttle, and it looks like Aegis will trade the bottom side one for it as well. Again, that ward also does help out Aegis. That ward in that little pinch point there does help him out. But now Donart's maybe looking to do a little bit of counter jungling, or maybe try to get something on Dinketo here. Avenger is a little low on mana. Donart's turning his attention to the top lane, meanwhile.
Oh, I think they've been red. Aegis is already hitting top right away. As soon as he came out of base, he's
Mhm.
running up there. I don't know if he'll get there in time. No boots. Donard's already set up. The wave is about to crash.
Here we go. Donart's in, does have the flash available. Able to get all the brittle damage on
Oh,
him, but the auto not going to land. Able to take the aggro off the
Aegis is
tower here.
here.
It's going to go back out of the
If
minions.
he,
Donart's might have bitten off more than he could chew. Here comes
oh,
Dinketo. The damage isn't enough. He threw a cannon minion at him and it didn't do anything. Donart's able to get some healing back here. Aegis is here.
another
Can he do, I
suitcase.
think, just enough damage? Beats him over the
Oh,
head with a suitcase, and that is first blood to Jungle Mundo. Welcome to 2021, everybody. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, Exhaust going down onto Titan. Seo's doing a good job of frontlining. Does the boy pop the heal? If he could get one more auto Q, maybe it'll be enough. Titan burns the heal. Jojo linking back up here, trying to punish the cooldowns being down. This is a bold engage
oh,
if he can get the stun. Titan
oh,
going in,
bring it
flashing
out.
in with the aggressive Kaisa play. Really nicely done. Gray health converted into the shield. A couple more autos might do it, but you'll take a burnt flash. Really intelligent, well-timed re-engage on that 2v2 from the bottom lane of Red Kalunga.
Absolutely love this 4x4. You want to look at the top lane. You thought it was exciting. Hell yeah, it was. First blood came to the top lane. I want to look at the bot lane. Titan versus Sensible. I felt was going to be the most even matchup. And we got some great action down there as well. And it's not messy, senseless action. This is well planned action we're seeing here. Donarch choosing to gank that top lane would have netted them a kill if not for the fact that Aegis had already read them and was responding. The mid laners coming up as well. These teams are responsive. They know what they need to do. They know how to adapt on the fly as well. This is peak CBLOL. And here we go. We get a repeat of the gank here. Donard's going in, and you can already see he got brittle procced immediately. And that was a bug. Weagle ran through his turret. That was supposed to be a knock up at the turret.
Yeah, and it's Guigo, he is lucky to survive that. But he also, maybe Donarts was lucky to, maybe to your point there, to survive as well. Tay just going to take everyone away from
Ooh.
Donarts. He's able to get out of that scot free. I know he did burn the flash. My apologies. And Guigo, Tay with a nice little sidestep through his W as well to speed him up to get out of the range of the knockup. And this lane has gone maybe about how you would expect here, right? Tay
Yep.
up about 10 CS, just going with these kind of late game scaling items, the tier, the call. He is not playing for the lane. He is just, and I mean, Guigo, I think, did Guigo get the counter pick? I'm thinking
Oh,
back to draft here.
repeat here.
I think he
Yeah,
might
Guigo
have.
got the counter pick.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, he's just playing that weak side top, and here we go again. We've seen this movie before. Here comes the Horn, gets it right into Dinketo, and the
Oh,
knockup, and the brittle, the W as well, burns the flash. One more auto is going to do it. But the power unleashed goes right into Guigo. Oh, that feels so bad. I love an Ornn pop off, and Donarts now is in a world of trouble. Avenger does have Comet. If he can land even one soldier, never mind, he's got Aegis there. He's going to Tokyo Drift right in, stab him through the heart with a spear. Red Kalunga avenge their tank.
and I want to point out Guigo almost killed Dinkedo solo. The turret
Yeah.
did not hit Dinkedo at all. That was all just Ornn. That was absolutely disgusting to watch. At this point, if I was loud, I'd just abandon my top lane. Tay's winning this. He doesn't need you there. And every time you go up, it seems to be giving kills over to Red. So just leave him isolation. They can win this. Go gank the mid lane instead, maybe. Dinkedo is 6 with the unleashed power. You can burst down a 0 there.
Mm-hmm. Man, I in last year in the games I casted in North American Amateur, I saw what some people might say is one too many Ornn carry games. But I argue there's no such thing as too many Ornn carry games. They're tanks. I think there are a few more satisfying. There are a lot of very like visceral sound effects and interactions in League of Legends that really just get a physical reaction out of you. They're really just satisfying. I think landing an auto on a brittle proc and doing that much damage as a tank feels so good. That's one of my favorite things to do in League of Legends.
I mean, there was a reason why Ornn was so heavily prioritized at Worlds, and why people always complain about the fact that Ornn's not a tank. He does
Yeah.
way too much damage for a tank, and it's kind of bursty too. Does catch a lot of people off guard. You'd think after so many years, or so it actually hasn't been that many years since Ornn's has been out, but after so many games, so many seasons of
Mhm.
Ornn here, people would be used to it. But it always just seems to catch people slightly off guard.
Yeah, and that sneaky CC, I mean, that was really good going back to that botch dive. Dinketo, right? Just a little mispositioned. And he didn't even need to get the pillar up. He just stunned him right into the wall, got the knockup right into the actual wall. And that is the price that he paid for going for that dive. Guigo with the really preemptive Ornhorn as well to dissuade anything. And yeah, I mean, that was what set it up. I think he knocked it right into Dinketo and was able to follow it up really nicely. Now, Aegis, no dragon taken on either side just yet, so the Rift Herald will be the first objective to go down. Should be pretty uncontested here. They secured the Scuttle Crab just a little bit earlier as Guigo returns to the top lane from a brief hiatus in the mid lane, and Donart's responding in kind in the bottom lane. He's got his bottom laners there as well. This should be a free objective trade.
Little bit surprised that Red didn't prioritize that Mountain Drake a little bit more, considering that you have the Ornn, you have the Mundo. Resistances on them feel really, really good. But I guess first Herald's kind of important, gives you a lot of gold, gives you first plate,
Mm.
potentially first turret.
Tay taken sneaky low, but able to get Guigo
Oh, the
down.
flash.
Flashes away from the Ornhorn. Very good predictive flash, but it might be too little too late. Dawning Shadow goes out. Not going to catch Guigo. He flashes away. Tay, is he going to get there? Oh,
Oh,
this. Oh, that feels so bad. Another kill for the Jungle Mundo. Man, I mean, Guigo was just playing the edge of that fight so tantalizingly. Kept Tay preoccupied while Mundo finished it off.
the ultimate flirt. Who would have known? Ornn can add Dancer to the list of occupations there. And Dr. Mundo's first debut here in CBLOL 2021, and he's coming up absolutely massive here. 2-0 and 175% KP for his team. That's the numbers you want to see when you pick a sort of, I don't want to call it unorthodox anymore because it has been showing up, but certainly isn't a common pick.
No, but again, but it is very much common in terms of Dinketo. He is waiting for Donars to come up. He lands that CC, maybe bait out a poorly timed Emperor's Divide. He was going to go for the all in there, but no harm, no foul. Very unexciting skirmish in the mid lane there. But back to your point about Mundo. Look, these tanks that are good team fighters in the mid game, good skirmish in the mid game, and that can just run at you super fast. They are what are being that is how you. Those are the jungles that are being played now. That or Graves.
Yeah, but forget. I remember for years there's been complaints about mobility creep, how every new champion has some sort of dash or flash. Well, forget that.
Mm-hmm.
All you need is chem tank and a lot of movement speed, and oh, they're
Mm-hmm.
just flogging the dead horse here.
And if you're Aegis, maybe all you need is a briefcase. Yep, that is. Tay with good damage there. With the lethality early on here, cutting into Guigo, who doesn't have a ton of armor just yet, but it's just not enough. I mean, Guigo, or Tay rather, really isn't dealing that much damage yet. His garage sale of a build is not providing him with enough. But that being said, the fact that he almost took down Guigo again for the second time there, I think is you've got to doff your cap a little bit to him.
Yeah, this is not the Jace game Tay was expecting. We've seen
No.
Wiser on it. We've seen Parang on it, and it didn't look like this. And unfortunately for Tay, he might be sort of the first not great looking. Oh wow, Jace in the game and Titan. What I did not expect to see that. What on earth just happened?
Not totally sure, but I don't know. It's something about suboptimal Herald usage. That's the only thing that I know for sure. But drag it up in another 2 minutes here, so not going to be a huge issue right now. Avenger up on Dinketo pretty handily. I love the early Azir play that we've seen in the last two games here. Just because your champion isn't designed to do anything in the early game doesn't mean you can't. Doesn't mean you can't force the issue here. Dinketo is TP-less as well, and down about 13 CS. Avenger is on that Leandri's Anguish. Meanwhile, Dinketo still waiting to get online here. Looking for maybe the all-in here. Auto, there goes the Dark Sphere. They're not going to do the Power Unleash just yet.
And I feel like there is some misunderstandings about Azir right now with some of the changes in the game with the sort of Leandries here. Azir actually has a much better laning phase. He's got mana, and with the Comet, he's actually pretty strong early on. Dawn Arts.
Looks like he might get dove here. The CC layering is just far too much. Jojo tried to bail out his mid laner, but too little too late. But at least he didn't make himself a liability either. Really good dive executed there. Yeah, an Avenger, he had flash, but there was really nowhere he could go. He was on him before they could even blink. Guigo able to dash away here. Tay not able to land the
Good
Q
pick, yeah.
through his energy barrier there, but it's a-okay. Yeah, this top lane, good for Aegis. That's all I'll say. Good for Aegis because this lane should be way less close than it is right now. Now maybe a secondary dive coming in here. Titan taking some tower aggro, and now it's shifted over there onto Aegis. Ceos just trying to delay the inevitable here. Here comes now one but two DPs. Oh boy, they know exactly where he's coming. Tay drops into that spot. Yeah, he's you're going down, my friend. Guigo followed him. He knew exactly where he was going. Titan able to unaggro. Loud, what are we doing here? This isn't solo queue. Duds the boy is dead. The boy, despite going golden there to buy himself a little bit more time. Ooh, actually getting us a little bit of sneaky healing there. There's the all-in on Avenger, but he's able to get his soldiers to get him the heck out of dodge. Man, Red just punishing some miscoordinated plays there from Loud.
Loud was doing pretty decently up to now. Their composition actually was very lane dominant on the top side. You have Jace, who was going to win his lane. You had Syndra, who has a lot of kill potential. We saw exactly what happens. One stun is all they need to kill Avenger. The bot lane was supposed to be just holding steady with that Senatum Kench. But none of that really came through. Tay did win his lane, yes, but Guigo did okay because he's picking up assists left and right. Aegis got snowballing way harder than Dawn Arts did. And mid lane, Avengers played it safe, was just farming things up, wasn't trying to get kills necessarily, just poking down against Dinkido. And so a lot of the advantages that Loud drafted for are not there. And now we're hitting the mid game where team fighting becomes key. They don't have a team fight comp.
They go all in there onto Dawn Arts, and you can't do anything if you're CC'd. You can't execute your own CC. They eliminate the jungler, and Loud, sure enough, they will say, nope, we want no part of this dragon right now. That is one of the freer dragons you're going to see. That was really well done. Just again, team fighting, cohesion is important starting now.
Every single major objective, that's going to happen. Loud simply cannot contest at any major objective. What their comp can do is get good catches and good poke. Is that the gold totals?
That is the gold total.
Yep. So Titan, no surprise, he's at the top of that list. But Aegis coming up behind him is a little surprising and not good news for Loud.
Ooh, Tay. Oh, here comes the Tom Kench. CEO's able to let down a little bit of CC. Tay gets exhausted, and it's just not enough. The soldiers don't arrive on time. Now here comes Does the boy. 4 reinforcements. Dinkido as well. They've got Jojo on the run. Here comes Dawn Arts as well, trying to exact revenge. They go all in onto Guigo, excuse me. Aegis, got to be careful here. He is beefy, but now he's got Titan for backup. Do they go for the dive under tower? The health bar advantage is certainly in Red's favor, but it's not worth throwing away your advantage. I think that was absolutely the right call.
Oh, Seos, the madman, his abyssal voyage to save everybody, and they just kept on saving people. Then Kiddo has the unleashed power. Is it enough?
Titan flashing away, and the burn from the Leandry's Anguish is just enough. He got that mythic item power spike, caught up finally to Avengers, actually up in CS, and made good on it. Titan then burned his flash as well.
That was so good. So patient from Loud. I think Red didn't track the unleashed power or thought it might have been used against Guigo earlier, but it wasn't. They end up losing 2 for nothing at the end of the day, but they do get Shelly here. So it's kind of a case of lose the battle, win the war a little bit, as they do get more gold net. Maybe not immediately, but once they do take down the top lane turret, once they do drop Shelly, that will be additional gold in their pocket.
Yeah, this is a big opportunity to break this game open because it has been favored towards Red for sure, but they haven't quite broken it open yet, despite the advantage they've been able to accrue on Aegis. Titan just has 6 kills, which we should maybe talk about a little bit more here. He's on 2 items. I think he's redeemed all his gold. But yeah, he's on 2 items and then some. Titan in a little
Oh,
bit of trouble here, but able to auto.
one
Really good
more.
mechanics here. Tay is on the run, but
Oh,
cognizant of the fact that with all the lethality, he could get bursted down here. Does have the Eclipse. That tier going to come up soon. Once that Mana Moon becomes that Muramana, that is going to be a very, very scary Tay. And if he can just stay safe, which again, into this comp that is super dive heavy for red, is going to be very difficult to keep Tay safe, but he can pump out a lot of damage.
but that was a 1v1 between your top laner, who's a damaged top. He's not a tank, into the ADC. That Tay is supposed to be able to take that easy. If he can't, you've kind of got a little bit of concerns there, because now you've got 2 targets you need to take down in team fights. Like I mentioned, Titan 6-1 right now, huge damage threat. Avengers getting up there as well. Gonna build that Nashor's too soon. Once that's done, both of them absolutely shred in fights, and Denkido can only choose one.
Yeah, and I think it's got to be. I mean, maybe it's Avenger if you can, or Titan rather, if you can lay down some good CC and some good setup. But he is slippery and he is very, very strong. Heck, he might tear apart Dinketo before Dinketo can do anything. So I think your target's got to be Avenger. Right? If Avenger mispositions somehow with the soldiers or a subpar Shurima shuffle, that might be your window for Dinketo because he is the big damage carry right now. Tay, it just isn't there quite yet, like you said. Yeah, and they're just shoving him off this tower. They know that all he can do is poke him down. But with 2 tanks, well, really 3 tanks here, just a town bot,
Yeah.
making life very, very difficult. And the solo laners, or well, Titan is a solo laner, but you get my drift here. They are just playing tower defense. As to their credit, Loud responding a little bit, or at least doing their best to, up on the top side of the map with the dragon up in a minute. That bot lane pressure is going to mean a lot, and see if they can exact that same mid lane pressure.
Yeah, but what did Loud really get after all of that here?
Oh,
Tankido is
nothing.
only now starting to hit the turret. No teleport available either means they've basically sacked the bot side of the map. Shelly being called into mid lane, so it's going to be a hard push, it looks like, coming through for the side of Red Knit here.
Yep, looking to exact some pressure on that mid lane. In the
Oh,
bot lane, Tay out of position. Guigo and Aegis. Yeah, you don't do anything now. Guigo is massive. He's
Guigo is
got the frozen fist.
unnecessary.
Jeez. No, yeah, he is. I mean, yeah, now they've got the 5v4 here. Maybe they could get a pick onto Duds and Seos. I just don't think they know exactly where Donarts might be. But here comes Guigo, looking for a flank.
Oh, he
Ooh,
missed.
just out of range of the knockup. There's the Void Seeker in. Does the boy staying safe there, throws out the W, but now here comes the TP, or not the TP rather. Dawning Shadow goes out. Donards join the fight via the Blast Cone. Tower goes down, able to land the stun there. Guigo taken low. He's exhausted,
no.
but I think he's going to survive this. And now here comes the teleport. Does the boy getting ignited, taken very, very low, but he will be able to flash and heal his way out of it. Guigo somehow still alive.
Tay's
Dojo
coming
did
from
go
behind.
down. Oh, and here comes the flank. Tay, this is your moment, buddy. This is the redemption arc. Able to poke away from a safe distance while his team closes the gap on the rest of the retreating Red Kalunga squad. Able to get a time, but he gets popped. He got too close and he got punished for it. Just because you have a melee weapon doesn't mean you have to use it. But Loud, Dinketo, he is that big damage threat. He's able to make good on it. Aegis is so fast, has so much healing. That's a triple kill now for Dinketo. Man, did they need that. Gonna spit the... It's so weird. Just spitting out the scuttle crab into the dragon pit. It's like, no, you too. They're able to take this dragon. Man, that was... Look, Tay was a bit of a sacrificial lamb there, but I think it ended up working out.
Yeah, and the flank right here was massive, because if not, they do get out clean. But Titan bursts down. Tay actually almost survived too. Donards probably would have died there if Denkido Scatter the Weak did not come across. That was huge for them. Avenger actually does make it out. I didn't even realize he survived the entire fight, but everybody else went down. They just run you down, and you do not outrun a Chem Tank Udyr with a Glacial Augment Senna in his back pocket.
No, you do not. Dinkedo, yeah, in that last fight, total damage,
Yeah.
3,600. I mean, he put in work, and so did Titan. But I still think in a straight, more coordinated 5v5, you like Red's chances here. Their tanks are absolutely massive. Aegis is really, really big. There is healing reduction coming in finally here from Dinkedo and Duds the Boy. They've got the Oblivion Orb. I like in Season 11 that the Oblivion Orb isn't just that straight magic pen, right? It kind of works like an AP Executioner's Calling. Big fan of that change. But yeah, I mean, Avenger has kind of stalled out a little bit here, and that's the thing with Azir. You can get creative with your positioning, kind of offensively and defensively. but you do need a little bit more setup. So if they're still in a straight 5v5, I like red a lot more. They're going to start up this Baron here. Excuse me. Guigo has TP, and he's going to drop himself right into the back of the Baron pit. Avenger
Oh, here we
looking for
go.
something cheeky here. Here comes the Oran Horn. It's going to
Oh,
drop right by. Seo staying alive here. Donar's getting knocked up. It's going to be a lot of CC. It's not going to be available if he goes down. And Titan able to keep
they're
himself
so
safe and
tanky.
pump out so much damage. It's just too much. Dinketo trying to play this fight intelligently, not going to blow everything
Titan,
just yet.
what?
Titan goes in and takes the Dinketo so low, but now there's enough for his team to follow up, but they can't quite catch up. Jojo didn't have the jump there and the Ferromancy to make good on the drop there. Now they're going to start up this Baron once again? Question mark? Nope, just able to, yeah, they thought about it, but I think the health bars are too low. That is ripe for the picking. Dotart's no flash, but he did have the smite there, but they're responding in kind, taking that mid lane tier 1. Man, long time coming for that one.
Yeah, good call from Loud. They recognize
Mhm.
right now that for Red, they don't need to go for the Baron. They just need to stop Red from doing the Baron, and just Tay shooting in those shock blasts in there would be sufficient to dissuade them. So they just ran, turn, and burn for the mid lane turret. They do have to be a little careful though. Avengers on the flank.
And Aegis is just in
Oh,
everybody's face, but he gets chunked down. Again, a lot of healing reduction coming in there, and the CC as well. They're able to get a shutdown kill into Tay's pocket, and that's big. That brings up a secondary damage type and a secondary big damage threat. Tay doesn't have to be as creative with his flanks if this keeps going his way.
okay. So what we've seen in the last couple of fights is that Titan has to play really, really well to survive the fights. Denkido just has to press R. That's literally all he has to do, and Titan's
Mhm.
out of the fight. And flash is blown from both of them there. But honestly, if Dinkido didn't flash, probably still would have been okay in that fight. Whereas Titan didn't flash, pretty much he was guaranteed to be dead there. So it's going to be really risky for them. And so now I'm looking at secondary carries. Aegis, I never thought Dr. Mundo would be considered secondary carry, but he's been pumping out the damage here. And Avenger versus the likes of Tay and Duds the Boy. And Duds the Boy right now has been sort of flying under the radar quite a bit. The damage coming out has not been great, but the execution is calling, and the slow has been massive here. And the reason why we're not seeing enough damage is because it's starving Senna. He doesn't have that much gold. Can Tay be sufficient to carry them through these fights? He's been kind of doing it, but I feel like he's going to start falling off right now. He's got the Mirror Mana completed, the Eclipse completed. This is sort of his high point of the game.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely where he's got to shine. He's still up, 30 CS on Guigo, but again, Guigo, he doesn't care about your numbers. He is Ornn. He's going to scale into the late game just fine. Ton of CC in that kit, sneaky damage, etc., like we were talking about. But I think you're right. This game right now, and whether Loud can pull off the comeback, a lot of it is going to be on Tay because, like you were mentioning, Dinketo and Titan, it's just about who presses R first because they both have that all-in kill potential. But you kind of have to choose one, like you were saying even earlier, RMC. And so after those two ultimates and those two champions go down, then who is it? Then it does come down to Tay slash
Oh,
Aegis. I agree.
are they? Red was, I think, thinking about Dragon, but they've surrendered the top side a little bit here. Too loud. There's not a ton of vision, so it's kind of dark for Red. Oh, good tower is going to buy them
Mm-hmm.
a bit of time, and we have ourselves a bit of a dance off.
Let's see here. Aegis maybe looking for a creative angle. We go up front. Dragon spawning in 4 seconds. And I think Red are right to try to just punish a Baron take here, or a Baron attempt.
Titan.
Instead, no, yeah,
That's
Titan's just,
efficient.
wow, that's beautiful. Yep, that was absolutely the right play.
Yeah, there's a lack of vision on both teams right now. The Baron Pit itself belongs to Loud. It's all blue. But outside of the Baron Pit, they are really struggling to maintain vision. Rid, for considering that they're the ones in the pit, it actually feels like they're being sieged up because Rid was able to control everything around it there. And yes, as Dia in my ear has told me, darkness, darkness everywhere. Yes, this was why he was thinking about that meme for me, because vision is so important. And that entire dance off happened because of vision. Titan, because they're on the outside, gets to sneak the dragon for free.
Yep, and now it's 2-2. Red still maintaining their lead here. They're up in towers, they're up in kills, they're up in gold. But in a battle of these kind of, well, I mean, Red is a top tier team. Look, Flamengo might be in a
Yeah.
class of their own, right? I think if you're to put Flamengo S tier, Red is A, and maybe you've got a cluster of teams that are looking to get into that kind of A minus B plus tier, and Loud
Oh, look
is
how fast
one
it's
of
going
those.
down.
This is getting absolutely melted
He got it
between
already.
Titan and Avenger. Before I could even spit out my entire sentence, the Baron goes down.
Oh.
Big ult coming in from JoJo as well. Seo, what the heck was that? Missile Voyage goes down, not up, by the way. Able to pick up 3 kills now. Titan is just all over the place, and he is able to. He's just completely healthy, and now they've got them on the run. Here we go. Not able to
Anything,
land.
just one of anything.
Ooh. That volcanic rupture, maybe it's enough, but does the boys going to get out of there? But they're able to take the Baron. They're able to. I don't think I've ever seen a Baron go down faster. Like, honestly. That was so quick.
That Baron went down faster than Aegis in team fights. That is not okay. That champions are tankier or are surviving longer than the neutral objective there. But with that, Red finally gets the edge they need to try and blow this game open. They've been struggling for the last 5 to 10 minutes here, trying to find an entrance and opening here, and they find it with a huge team fight with a Baron. The inhibitor in the mid lane is down. They can now look to siege up one of the side lanes here, or just frankly split push would work as well. They don't have the champions for it, but you've got the Baron buff, and that's worth any number of champions in a split push.
And look at that total damage. Tay, 5,000 more total damage than Titan. Again, shows you the importance and the impact that he can have. He's got the last whisper here, which will certainly help into Guigo and Aegis. Although Aegis not building really that much armor at all. It's just the dead man's really,
No.
but mostly just MR. But you've got kind of your protection from both types of damage here. Void Staff being completed a little while ago for Avenger. He's got the stopwatch as well in case he gets dove on, or just bursted down or poked down. But it is up to, I mean, look, Tay is emerging as that secondary carry because Dinketo kind of having a tough time getting onto, I mean, really Titan / Avenger. But the team comp of Red and then the tanks for Red have done a great job of peeling for their carries and just creating this just impenetrable wall that does not allow a team with very little dive in Loud to get back there regardless.
And what do you do against Ornn? What do you do against Dr. Mundo, right? Like, you've got no
I usually surrender.
Well, unfortunately for Loud, that doesn't look to be an option for them. So they've got to play this through, but they don't have a shred style champion here. Nobody who can effectively build Blade of the Ruin King. They're relying very heavily on Leandries here for Dankedo to try and shred them, but it's not super effective. There's Force of Nature coming through, for Aegis. I'm assuming Guigo is going to build some sort of magic resistance soon as well. And this is not your standard 4-1 split push. They're just out-rotating Loud right now.
3v4 here in the mid lane. Hex flash over by JoJo. And the two beefy boys in the bottom lane. No, like you said, I mean, they're just saying, okay, let's take this tower. Great, we got this one. Let's rotate to this one. Great. And after all is said and done, we are going to counter jungle our way to a potential 3-2 lead as far as the Infernal Soul is concerned. They've got the supers barreling down the mid lane. Not Baron buffed up, thank goodness for Loud. But they're able to create enough pressure and create a 3-2 lead here potentially on this Infernal Drake if they even want it. Maybe trying to find a pick first. Or maybe they just kind of, they just kind of do the same thing they did before, is send either Avenger or Titan to the Dragon, and everybody else just kind of dance and take up space and be distracting.
Yeah, at this point, I think Red would be more than happy to have a team fight at this point. So they're not, I think, going to try and bait you and then sneak a dragon. They're going to flat out do the dragon and want you to come into them here because they feel really, really comfortable, really confident. There is still no answer to Guigo and Aegis, and it's not like Guigo and Aegis don't do damage. You can't ignore them. If they walk into you, they do percent health. So even Dawn Arts here, who's supposed to be, I guess, the tankiest, second tankiest member of Loud, is not going to be okay handling it. And you can see that Loud is aware of it. They don't want to fight it. And so they're constantly splitting up. They're slowly losing things, but if they can get a pick here and there, that's good enough for them. Dawn Arts is coming as well.
I was going to say, in a 1v1, Avenger's got 3 levels on Tay. Hello?
Oh, no.
What
Tay.
the heck? I didn't even notice that. My gosh. I mean, he's up 85 CS on it. So you definitely needed Dawn Arts. And Tay just saying, yeah, I see your ward. What are you going to do about it? Are you going to charge me? No, you're not. Because I've got an Udyr there. And I think even Red saw that. It's like, we dropped the ward on him. He didn't run away. Udyr must be nearby.
I actually can't tell if that ward's in the bush. I get the feeling that the ward
it might not be. You're right.
I think they don't know that Tay was there because Avenger Yeah, 3 levels up, but Tay can actually potentially burst Avenger down. He's quite squishy. He doesn't really have much health, and I think Tay just wanted the insurance of Dawn Arts, but Avengers Spider Senses tingling backed off to the team. And I just find it hilarious that he didn't take down the blue trinket because it gives you that false sense of security if it's not in the bush.
Mhm. Yeah. Maybe it's just a flex.
That'd be hilarious. You're
LDR.
down here flexing.
Yeah. LDR finished up here for Tay, who does hit level 15. Makings of the beginning of a fight brewing here. Duds the boy able to provide some healing for his squad. He's got Immortal Reminder finished up. Yeah, Tay is sort of that shredding tank. Oh my gosh,
Oh,
Donards! Who put the Observer on double speed? Oh my gosh, that is so fast. Now Age is looking for the turn. Does the boy trying to get the healing off? Ornhorn right down the mid lane. That is perfect. That's exactly the setup they wanted. Tinketo goes down, and that's all the damage out of the way. Tay, you can't really cut that well, especially not into a Mundo as Jace. He will go
briefcases.
down. It's just a if. It's just a when, not an if. Oh, Tay goes right back up and right back down. This should be the game. Red Kalunga. It was a little dicey there in the mid game, but they should be able to wrap this one up, move it to 6-1, and bounce Loud down to 4-3. Well, let's see. I mean, they're buying time, but they're just playing with their food here. Oh, shutdown kill. Okay,
That's a
on to Duds the
Titan.
boy.
Okay, that's kind of a problem. Titan is their is their turret shredder, and Titan went down. So they played with their food, I think, a little bit too long there,
Man,
and they can't actually end the game.
They played with their food and they spilled marinara sauce on their nice white
Oh
shirt.
dear. They need some bounty. What's
Yeah.
their tagline? The better, quicker picker upper or something like
The
that.
quicker picker upper. Yeah. Yeah. But I don't even think, the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser, the quicker picker upper. I don't know if that's the exact tech here, but thankfully Red had built themselves enough of a lead here.
Oh
But
no.
now Loud just trying to play on the offensive, play on the counter here.
Titan's
They're
still
gonna
dead.
start up this Baron. Titan is still down. Those respawn timers are long at 35 minutes. Are they going to melt this right now? Avenger just looking to do a base race here, and they're going to get the empowered recall and be able to respond. All he's going to get is an inhibitor out of it. How about Loud?
Oh my goodness, the fans must be going insane right now because Loud, the game should be over, but Loud somehow stays into it. This burn buff is going to be pretty big as well. Yes, they lose the bot lane inhibitor. That's really going to suck once the burn buff's over, but for now, they have the burn buff. They can push up here, and the stall is so good for them. They do have to make sure they don't die here, though.
Let's see, another Ornhorn right down the mid lane. That's got
Oh.
almost unlimited range. It doesn't land on the Duds the Boy and interrupt the Dawning Shadow, but Donarts does go down. I feel like we've seen this before. I feel like we watched this exact thing happen, except
Without
instead of
Baron
Donarts,
buff.
it was Tinketo. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
they do have to be a little bit careful. We've seen they basically need to make sure Titan doesn't go down. That's all they need to do here. They have supers pushing in 2 lanes. They'll be a-okay, and it's the death times are pretty long right now. So Loud, as long as Titan doesn't go to Hab, Loud is gonna be in trouble.
Very methodical about this one for sure. Wow. It's almost like they don't even have Baron buff. That's wild. Ooh, yeah. And Tay, you see the damage he's able to pump out with one shock blast. Took Avenger down to half health. Are they not going to try to end here?
No, they aren't. Dawn Arts, there's 15 seconds on Dawn Arts, but they're not going to go do this. It's 30 seconds for Inferno. They're going to go pick themselves up the Inferno. So normally I'd be screaming at how bad a choice this is when you're ahead to not end. But you do have the Azir, and the Kaisa Titan's just really, really strong right now. So they're okay, kind of, to let this continue going out for now.
Yeah, they're trying to bait something out here, I think. Well, and then the Void Missile gave it away. Now they're going to try to wrap up this Infernal Soul. Guigo and Jojo in the front line. Jojo, here comes the Hex Flash. Infernal Soul melted. This is it, boys. Time to put this baby to bed. Down goes Avenger. He got absolutely melted. Or Seos, rather, excuse me. And Nage is now on the chase to Donards. Fight going on 2 fronts. Tay goes down. Finally, I think we're going to see this game come to an end. It should have been over 10 minutes ago, but I think we'll finally get an end to this one.
Oh, Red, this is BM at this point that they did it this way. There was so many other ways they could have ended it. You've got an Ornn and a Mundo who don't care about turrets. You could have actually just backdoored them when they left the base there if you hit in the bush, but instead they pad their KDA, and Titan is after this game, I'm pretty sure he's going to take sole claim to that highest DPM of all ADCs. His KDA or his kills at least are going to look really, really nice after this game as well.